The question of whether one can survive on $2,000 a month in 2026 is no longer a simple math problem, but a complex survival strategy. We have to face the reality that the purchasing power of the dollar has shifted significantly over the last few years due to persistent inflationary pressures. While $2,000 might have felt like a modest but workable budget in 2020, the landscape of 2026 presents a much steeper climb for the average consumer. For example, a basic basket of goods that once cost $50 now frequently pushes towards $75 in many metropolitan areas. This means that every single cent in a $24,000 annual budget must be meticulously accounted for to avoid financial collapse. Understanding the gravity of this economic shift is the first step in mastering your personal finances. You must recognize that living on this amount requires a total overhaul of traditional spending habits to maintain any semblance of stability in the current year. Housing remains the most significant hurdle for anyone attempting to live on a $2,000 monthly budget in 2026. The reason this category is so critical is that rent often consumes more than 50% of a lower income budget, leaving very little room for other necessities. In many mid-sized cities, finding a studio apartment for under $1,000 has become nearly impossible without looking toward unconventional living arrangements. Consider the rise of co-living spaces, or partitioned apartments where utilities are shared among multiple residents to keep individual costs down. By choosing a shared housing model, a person can potentially keep their rent and utility total around $800, which is the only way the rest of the budget can survive. Securing affordable housing is the foundation of this entire financial experiment. If you cannot solve the housing equation first, the rest of your monthly plan will likely fall apart before the second week of the month. Food costs in 2026 require a level of discipline that most people find difficult to maintain over the long term. We have seen grocery prices stabilize at a much higher plateau, making dining out an absolute luxury that rarely fits into a tight budget. When you are restricted to a limited income, your grocery strategy must focus on bulk staples and seasonal produce rather than convenience items or pre-packaged meals. A shopper might spend their entire weekly food allotment on rice, beans, frozen vegetables, and eggs at a discount wholesaler to ensure they have enough calories to last until the next payday. This disciplined approach prevents the slow drain of $5 coffees or $10 quick lunches that can easily destroy a small budget. Mastering the art of the grocery list and home cooking is essential for physical and financial health. Keeping your food costs under $400 a month is the key to maintaining your overall budget integrity. Transportation is often the hidden budget killer that people forget to account for when planning their monthly expenses. The cost of maintaining a private vehicle, including insurance, fuel, and repairs, can easily exceed $500 a month in 2026. Because of these rising costs, many people living on $2,000 a month must rely heavily on public transit or micro-mobility options like electric bicycles. For instance, a monthly bus pass or a subscription to a bike-sharing program usually costs less than $100, which saves hundreds compared to car ownership. This shift in transportation habits allows that extra $400 to be redirected toward more urgent needs like healthcare or debt repayment. Reducing your reliance on a car is one of the most effective ways to make a small income work. If you can navigate your city without a personal vehicle, you significantly increase your chances of financial success on a restricted budget. Healthcare coverage in 2026 has become a complex maze of high deductibles and rising premiums that can catch any budgeter off guard. It is vital to prioritize some form of health coverage because a single medical emergency can lead to permanent financial ruin when you have no savings buffer. Many individuals on a $2,000 income will qualify for subsidized plans through government exchanges, which can bring monthly premiums down to a manageable level. Someone might opt for a high-deductible plan with a low monthly premium of $50 just to ensure they have catastrophic coverage in case of an accident. This protection offers peace of mind even if it does not cover every minor doctor visit out of pocket. Maintaining your health and having a basic insurance plan is a non-negotiable part of a responsible budget. Protecting yourself from medical debt is just as important as paying your rent on time every month. The digital overhead of modern life, including internet and phone service, is another area where costs must be aggressively managed. In 2026, being connected is not optional for most jobs, but the high price of premium data plans can be a major drain on a limited income. You should look for low-cost providers or bundles that offer the bare minimum required for your professional and personal needs. For example, switching from a major carrier to a mobile virtual network operator can often cut a phone bill from $90 down to $25 without a significant loss in service quality. These small monthly savings across multiple digital services add up to a significant amount of breathing room by the end of the year. Minimizing your digital footprint and opting for budget-friendly connectivity is a smart way to reclaim your income. Every dollar saved on a recurring bill is a dollar that can be used for your future financial security. Geographic arbitrage is perhaps the most powerful tool for anyone trying to live on $2,000 a month in 2026. The reason location matters so much is that the cost of living varies wildly between a coastal tech hub and a rural town in the Midwest or the South. Living in a high-cost city like San Francisco or New York on this budget is virtually impossible, whereas it may still be feasible in a smaller city with a lower cost of goods. Consider a person who moves from a major metropolitan area to a smaller city where the average rent is 40% lower and local taxes are less aggressive. This move alone can transform a stressful financial situation into one that is manageable and even allows for some small savings. Choosing the right place to live is often the biggest factor in determining your quality of life. Aligning location with income level. Managing taxes and understanding your actual take-home pay is a step that many people overlook until it is too late. When you earn $2,000 a month, your gross income is not what hits your bank account, because payroll taxes and other deductions will always take a bite. It is crucial to calculate your net income accurately so you are not budgeting based on money that you never actually see. For a worker earning a gross salary that averages out to this amount, the take-home pay might actually be closer to $1,700 after all mandatory deductions are taken. This means the actual spending power is even lower than the headline figure, requiring even more stringent control over every expense. Knowing your exact net income is the only way to build a budget that actually works in the real world. Plan your life around the money that lands in your pocket. Building an emergency fund on a $2,000 monthly income in 2026 is incredibly difficult, but absolutely necessary. The reason you need a buffer is that life is unpredictable, and an unexpected expense like a broken laptop or a dental bill can derail your entire life. Even if you can only save $25 a month, the habit of putting money aside creates a psychological and financial safety net. Imagine a situation where your refrigerator breaks and you have $500 saved up to cover the repair instead of having to put it on a high-interest credit card. This small cushion prevents you from falling into a cycle of debt that is nearly impossible to escape on a low income. Prioritizing savings, even in small amounts, is the ultimate act of financial self-care. Consistency in saving will lead to financial freedom. The social and psychological impact of living on a very tight budget in 2026 cannot be ignored. Human beings are social creatures, and the reason many people fail at strict budgeting is that they feel isolated when they cannot participate in expensive social activities. To combat this, you must find ways to maintain a social life that do not involve spending significant amounts of money. For instance, instead of meeting friends at an expensive bar, you could host a potluck dinner or organize a group hike in a local park. These low-cost or free activities allow you to stay connected with your community without sacrificing your financial goals for the month. Balancing your emotional needs with your financial reality is the key to long-term sustainability. Rich social life without high net worth. In the year 2026, Many people living on $2,000 a month find that they need a small side hustle to provide a bit of extra breathing room. The reason for this is that a razor-thin budget leaves no room for error, and a tiny bit of extra income can be the difference between surviving and thriving. Engaging in the gig economy for just 5 hours a week can provide an extra couple of $100 that can be used for personal enjoyment or additional savings. A person might spend a few hours on the weekend doing freelance graphic design or walking dogs in their neighborhood to supplement their primary income. This extra influx of cash acts as a pressure release valve for a tight monthly budget. Generating multiple streams of income is a proactive way to improve your financial situation. Small work, significant outlook change. To summarize our deep dive into living on $2,000 a month in 2026, it is clear that while it is technically possible, it requires extreme discipline and strategic planning. We have covered affordable housing, bulk groceries, and geographic locations. We also looked at the critical need for an emergency fund and the potential for side hustles to provide a much-needed financial buffer. Success comes down to tracking every dollar. If you found this breakdown helpful and want to see more content on mastering your money in a changing economy, please like and subscribe for more educational deep dives. We would love to hear from you in the comments about which of these strategies you find the most challenging. Thank you for watching and for taking control of your financial future today.